The nervous system is one of the most important body systems. This system has two main organs, the brain and the spine, but it is very complicated, composed of other smaller so-called organs or cells. Basically, the brain is in the cranial cavity, while the spine is in the vertebral cavity. So the nervous system has two parts, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is located in the spine and brain, while the peripheral nervous system outside the cranial and vertebral cavities, simply stated. So keep in mind that the line between the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system, it's not universal. So now let's talk about the cells. There are various different types of cells in the nervous system, and the main cells include glial cells and neurons. Glial cells are the cells that provide the framework for neurons and their actions. Neurons are the main cells that carry out the functions. The structure of a neuron is as follows. Neurons have cell bodies called somas and processes. There are two important types of processes: an axon, which connects the neuron with its target, and the dendrite, that receives information from other neurons. There are three main types of neurons based on their processes: multipolar neurons, which have one axon and multiple dendrites; bipolar neurons, which have one axon and one dendrite; and unipolar neurons, which have one process in total that acts as both an axon and a dendrite. So the nervous system is composed of gray matter, which is seldom actually gray, and white matter. The gray matter is made up of neuron cell bodies. When the collection of neuron cell bodies is located in the central nervous system, it is called the nucleus. The same thing, which is a collection of cell bodies, is located in the peripheral nervous system, it's called a ganglion. So the white matter, on the other hand, is made up of axon bundles. When these axon bundles are found in the peripheral nervous system, they are called nerves. When located in the central nervous system, they're called tracts. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to think about because, like, basically, the optic nerve is called a nerve when it's in the peripheral nervous system, but when it enters the central nervous system, it's called the optic tract. So now that we've talked about the very basics of structure, what are the basics of the functions of this system? So the three main functions are sensation, integration, and response. Firstly, the five senses receive input from a stimulus, and there is a motor response, which is the action taken upon the perceived stimulus, which can be voluntary or involuntary. The integration is the learning and thinking portion. The stimuli are integrated with the other stimuli, leading to a specific response. This is what the peripheral nervous system does. The nerves communicate to the brain via sensory neurons and from the brain via motor neurons. The involuntary responses are done by the sympathetic or parasympathetic systems. The sympathetic nervous system gets excited while the parasympathetic nervous system relaxes the stress.